What is up, YouTube? My name is Ramon Fades. Today I'm gonna go over how I do my mid fade. First, I start off with my bald guideline. Usually, I use my trimmer. Right here, I'm showing you guys how I do it with the trimmer going downwards like this. Usually, I use my trimmer to bald up, so I don't create a harsh guideline. But I just want you guys to have a clear visual of where exactly I start my mid fades at. Right here, I'm using the Babyliss FX trimmer to bald out the bottom. Trying to get it as close as I can to skin because this will be a mid skin fade. I just try to make sure I keep the area nice and clean. And I do have a separate trimmer to bald out so I don't scratch the client's skin. And here I'm going to use my Babyliss clippers with the 3 open. And the reason why I do that is so I can debulk and I can see what I'm going to fade into. This also helps me to see if the client has any imperfections or any areas where the hair might be darker than others. And I usually take it up to the parietal ridge because that's where I know where I'm gonna stop. And as you guys can already see, it's starting to lighten up that area where I'm gonna fade. So after I go in with the clipper open, I go ahead and close it just to make sure it gets a little closer. And the reason why I do this is because I already set my 3 open and I'm gonna take the 3 closed up to that 3 open without pressing too hard to create a new guideline. I just want to make sure everything is nice and even. I'm cleaning out the area where I'm about to fade. So once I use my 3 open and close, I go ahead with the click lever about halfway open to set my first guideline. And this guideline is going to be right above, obviously, my bald guideline. Um, and yeah, that's why I have separate trimmers because if it wasn't for that, then if I would using my sharp trimmers, it'd probably create a harsher line, making it harder for me to bald out. I don't know if you guys have had that experience in the past, but I've learned through trial and error. And while I'm doing this step right here, I start off with the click lever halfway open, then a quarter open, and then all the way closed to take out that bottom line. And you guys will just see right here in the video as I'm demonstrating. I'm closing it after setting that first guideline. And each time I don't go up as high because you're going to create that harsh line and it's going to be harder to take it out. And then you risk pushing the fade up higher than what you wanted to go. So always create the guideline and stay right underneath that. And yeah, then I go ahead and I guess already closed it. I go in and I start tapping that bottom line. And you can slowly start to see that it's getting rid of that bottom line. And not every time that you're gonna get rid of that line. So it just depends on. I would say it depends on how sharp you have your trimmer set, and also the client's skin texture and their hair. Some clients, their hair uh, you just have more of a challenge taking out that bald guideline, but you just gotta keep tapping at it, going with your trimmer. Sometimes even your balder will help, but I would say that's more for experienced barbers. And this is what I'm referring to. You can kind of see right here at the bottom that there's still a little line from the trimmer. So I'm going back in and just tapping away with my corners of my trimmer. I'm not using the whole trimmer blade. I'm just using the corner and just tapping up slightly to get rid of that bottom line. Now we're gonna go and create a new guideline with our half guard halfway open. And this is what I'm doing right here. I'm setting that guideline, putting it in where I want to stop. As you can see, maybe about not sorry, half an inch to close to an inch, depending on how much I want the fade to be stretched out. And here I already closed it to quarter open or quarter closed, whichever way. But I usually start halfway open, quarter open, and then all the way closed. This is just what has helped me. It helps me stay organized, and that's how I fade up and down. I also use that on the beard area. Also, I want to mention when I have the clipper closed, whatever setting it is, I'm using the corner teeth. I don't use the full blade. See, right here I'm pointing at the corner, making sure I'm just tapping, detailing, nice and gentle. And the reason why I do this is to prevent creating a new guideline. You don't want to give your guys' self more work than you're already doing. So here I'm going in with my 1.5 all the way open, but that's because I don't want to set a harsh guideline. And for me, I've noticed that when I go from the half guard to the 1.5 open, it helps me create a softer blend. And I do start with it open, and then you'll see right now in a few seconds that I'm gonna close it, and then just try to get rid of that bottom line. I'm just tapping away right here. I already closed the clipper, and again, this is the 1.5 guard. And all the guards that I use, I've tried other ones. I've tried all the ones that they recently have came out with, but my favorite ones are always the wall ones. I know I'm doing um, same measurements for every haircut, so I don't have to guess. And right here, I'm going in with my one open, and I'm tapping away at that line, just detail work, detail work. And this is just the way I fade. I like to make my blends soft. I don't like to do. I'm not too much of a fan of the compressed fades, though I can do them. They're just not my favorite. Man, but look at these lime green Babyliss clippers. I don't know what it is about them, but I love these. I feel that they fade pretty smooth. And bam. Um, Going back to the video, close the clipper with the one guard open, and same thing, guys. I'm using the corners, just using the corners, and you can start to see that guy that was initially there from the half guard is starting to go away. And right here, I'm pointing at some of the areas that still need some detail work. You always want to detail your fade. So I'm going back in with the half guard open, and I start open so I don't create a new harsh line, or I accidentally balled out an area more. And if I do need to close it, I will. So that's what I do right here. You always want to start with the lever open when you're detailing, and then slightly closing it to prevent creating any dark spot or any light spots, any bald spots, because trust me, I've done this in the past and I don't want you guys to do the same mistake. After I feel like the detail has been pretty good, I go back in with my 3 and I start removing some more bulk. I know we did this earlier, but the initial time that we did it was to remove some of the weight so I can see what I was going to fade up into. So now I'm doing, you can kind of say it's fading down, because I'm going to start with the 3 and then work my way back down to a 1.5, where you see that harsher line right here towards the middle of the fade. So here I'm going in with my 2. Like the video says, I'm fading down. And this is just what works for me. This is what has helped me stay organized, and it prevents me from pushing the fade up higher than I need to go. When I'm trying to teach other barbers how to do this, I call it more of the sandwiching hairstyle. So you get the top bun and then the bottom bun, and then you blend it all together. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what made sense for me. Like I said, I'll start with my 3, then I'll go down to my 2, and then to my 1.5. And you guys will see that right here throughout the video. Let me know in the comments, guys, if this is making sense. That way, when I make another fading video, I can address some of the things that weren't as clear on this video, because this is my first one. So take it easy on me, guys. Anyways, so back to the video. Like I said, the 3, the 2, now we're doing the 1.5. And again, just detail work. My main goal right here is to get rid of the dark areas. My client's hair is pretty dark, as you can see, so there definitely is going to be a lot of fading down, fading back up, and just detail work to get the fade the way I want it to. Right here you can see that I switched over to my one, and I slightly close it. I think I close it halfway right here. Just I guess it's called, I'm just like guessing to see what's getting rid of those dark areas. And this is one of my favorite things to use is the thinning shears at the top of the fade, where it's a little darker, but I don't want to remove too much hair. I'll go in and I'll use my thinning shears. The shears that I use are fresh shears. I like them because you can initially you buy the shears for maybe 100, 120, and they'll send you new ones every 6 months, every 8 months, or every 12 months, and you can set that up in the description, in the subscription. Sorry. So I always have fresh fresh shears. Okay, so back to the video. Right here, I'm using my balder, and I'm just being gentle, not really like pressing in too hard because I don't want to create another line. Sometimes I'll use this. I'll use the balder and like flicking it upward, or I'll tap it down. But yeah, a little bit more detail work and just always using the corners. Man, look at that. What do you guys think about that? Right here, I'm using my Babyliss trimmer with the MIM blade. This one, it took me a while to find because for whatever reason, they had sold out for a couple months. I couldn't find it anywhere. But once I got my hands on it, I was like, bam, I gotta get these because they're fire. I would say they're pretty sharp out the box. I've only had to zero gap one of these blades because I have about five of them. That's how much I like them. Yeah, so here we're using a little bit of enhancements. I don't like to go too dark on him. I want to make it look natural. I don't want him to, have paint dripping off his face. Not that my enhancements do that, but you don't want to make it look too enhanced. You just want to, what's the word I'm looking for? You want to enhance whatever you made. It's You're making your work pop more. But yeah, guys, this was my first video, my first run around at doing a tutorial for you guys. I hope this was helpful. Um, Practice makes perfect, man. This is something that I've been wanting to do, just never had the confidence or the courage to do it. But here we are. And the final look for my client. I've cut his hair before, so I know what he likes. I know how his hair texture. That helps a lot. But yeah, I just want to make sure you clean up your clients, give them some aftershave, show them the mirror. And this is the final look, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to your boy, Ramon Fades, with his first medium fade haircut tutorial. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Have a good day.